Let's move now to Tanzania, and this is where there have been fresh clashes between police and protesters in the country's commercial capital, Dar es Salaam. Police fired tear gas and live rounds to disperse crowds. Demonstrations erupted during Wednesday's vote, triggered by the exclusion of President Samia Suluhu Hassan's two main challengers from the presidential race, and growing concerns over government repression, according to protesters. Amnesty International says a police officer and a civilian have been killed in the protests, which are calling for electoral reforms. Now, to get the latest, we speak to SABC Correspondent in Tanzania, Isaac Lukando. Isaac, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So fresh clashes are now reported. Yesterday we were talking about several people being injured with clashes between demonstrators and police. How has the government responded to this?
In terms of a formal statement on the clashes, at least in terms of addressing them directly, no. There have been a couple of statements that we've seen from the government. One was addressed to the diplomatic missions in Tanzania, which are mostly stationed here in Dar es Salaam, being updated on the situation. They were talking about the incidences that had occurred, that the security measures that are being taken at the moment are temporary, but also necessary. And this is referring to the fact that most of the public has been asked to stay indoors and also being required to be back indoors in case they leave their houses, to be back indoors by 6 p.m. And in that same vein, government workers have been asked to work from home unless they're essential workers, and also people in the private sector have been asked to look at the possibility of working from home if it is not necessary. So there was relative calm in most places in Dar es Salaam. And also later we also heard from the Chief of Defense Forces, who was saying that they, in conjunction with other armed forces in the country, would be looking at calming the situation, and we're asking the population, the public, to be calm so that things can return to normal. So there are a couple of statements that have been issued there with this regard. And this, of course, comes in the backdrop of continuing results. We saw results of the elections in Zanzibar complete, but also on the mainland we're seeing results continuing to pour out from different regions.
Do we know when we can expect a full result in terms of the vote counting, and when we can expect final results?
Well, in terms of Zanzibar, last night we were made aware by the Zanzibar Electoral Commission of the final results of the presidential race there. Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, who is the incumbent, was declared the president-elect after securing over 440-something thousand votes, equivalent to over 70% of the vote. That is 74.8% of the vote. His closest challenger, Osman Masood Osman of ACT Wazalendo, got 130,000 votes, which is equivalent to 23.2% of the vote. So on the side of Zanzibar, in terms of the members of parliament being elected there and the presidential race, the results came out last night. But because of the sheer size of Tanzania, the results are still trickling in from various regions. So we've been monitoring to see those results. The Independent Electoral Commission told us that within 72 hours, the presidential election results would be out, and that is what we are waiting for, as we wait for more and more regions to come out with the results. Hopefully they will be able to complete things in time for those 72 hours after the election.
Internet was disrupted yesterday as well. Has that connectivity been restored And what are opposition parties saying generally about the status of things?
Well, internet hasn't come back. It came back briefly yesterday in the afternoon. It was a bit patchy, and then it went back off again. We're waiting for internet to be restored. As far as any statements from opposition parties, it's kind of hard without internet access to be able to hear what opposition parties are saying. Mainstream television is mainly streaming the results from the elections from various regions. That is what we're getting so far. We haven't had the opportunity to hear from opposition parties what they're saying. We did hear from Zanzibar, those that were conceding the election after the election results were released. They were talking about the importance of ensuring that going forward, even those that were in the opposition, that they worked with the government to bring peace and development to the islands of Zanzibar and Tanzania in general. That's the best that we heard from opposition parties. So at this point, it's a waiting game to see and hear the finalization of the election results.
Isaac, thanks so much again for your time. We'll leave it there for today.
Thank you.
Isaac Lukando is SABC, or South African Broadcasting Corporation correspondent in Tanzania, giving us the latest there after voting.